Hello, Renee Flamand here. Part of the narcissists, I guess we'll call it maybe armor or swagger or whatever, is that they really think that they're flying under the radar and being discreet enough and smart enough and charming enough to get away with everything that they're doing, and that you're not the wiser. And even when you do point out something to them, I have a hair on my nose, and they have a fight with you and you have it out, you're still there. So they don't care. They feel that their fight with you, they're lying to you, they're gaslighting, whatever method they use to take you off the topic of you finding something and challenging them. They feel it worked. You're still there. The fight's over. They don't internalize it and be like, oh, she feels so bad. I feel so bad. She feels so bad. No, they don't think about it at all unless it's inconveniencing them. Now, I've made videos about confronting your narcissist, or at least the topic's been inherently woven in some of my videos, and I generally say don't do so. And the reason that I say that is because I don't know if your narcissist has a tendency towards getting dangerous. And they say, the powers that be, that any narcissist has the potential to be dangerous. So that's why I always say not to challenge your narcissist. And I always admit that I did. 100% never let anything go. Never. Never. And I was not in physical danger, or at least I didn't think that I was. And it turns out I was never. It never became physical. But it's a real personal choice whether or not you confront your narcissist. So I just want to heed all that, you heed all that warning, because if you're in a dangerous spot, you have to handle it quite differently. When your narcissist finally realizes that you are on to them, you got them down, and they will flat out ignore any evidence you show them. It's not from evidence you show them, but they just know it. They can tell. You start acting different. You're gray rocking them, maybe. We talked about that, when you just sit and don't do anything. Or maybe we didn't talk about it, but I think we did. That's when you sit like a rock and you don't respond to them, and you get real passive. They can tell when you're really on to them. So 7 things I experienced happened in my relationship. And the first one is when they realize that you're really on to them, they may try the good old love bomb, but it's gonna be thick. Mine did. Oh, and they'll say every single thing that they know you wanted to hear, because they've been collecting information, right? So say you've been together 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years. They know, and it'll be thick like peanut butter. They'll go back to oh, on the 3rd date, you mentioned that you wanted me to go left, and I went right. Guess what? I'm going to go left. We're going to get married. They'll tell you everything that you wanted to hear. It'll be the thickest love bomb you ever experienced in your life. So that's number 1. Number 2, they swim. Oh yeah, they swim. They swim. They start to like anything. They'll promise, they'll swear on anything. It's connected. It's all connected. But they will try anything. I'll go to counseling. I will talk to anybody that you want. I will sit and talk with your friends. I mean, whatever it is, I'll throw my phone away. You can have my phone. I mean, they are swimming. That's what I picture. Just out there fighting to the death, not to drown. That's number 2. Number 3, they start to panic, because remember, you're a source of supply for them, and you're a source of validating their own self-worth. So if they lose you, even though they might have been playing around and maybe talking to this one and being on date sites, now they're panicked because you're their supply. They may even live with you, okay? So even though they have feelers out for new supply, which research shows narcissists always have feelers out for new supply, they're going to start to panic now because you're their home base, yes? So there's going to be endless ways that this can manifest itself. They could flip out. They could fight. They could yell, scream, holler, cry, beg, plead. People say narcissists don't do those things. Of course they do when it's in their calculated manipulation to do so. They absolutely do. Oh yeah, big tears and everything. And like, yeah, oh yeah, it happens. Big strong guy. There he was. Yep. Okay. So if that doesn't work, then they're going to continue in the stage of panic and they're going to project. They're going to blame you. They're going to accuse you. Notice the turnaround. 1, 2, and 3. They're love bombing, swimming and trying to say anything and promise anything. They're panicking now, and it starts to turn around because they're losing control of you. They have to have control of all subjects. So they're losing control of you is what's happening. So they'll start all of those behaviors inherent in trying to keep you there. Because if they feel you're onto them, then now they're thinking maybe she actually will leave, okay? So projection, blaming, accusing, all of that. Number 4, if none of those things worked, now they're really going to start to look for new supply. If they've only entertained it but didn't act out yet or haven't lately or aren't today, I can guarantee you they're going to start looking for new supply even more, like tonight, like right now, like in the middle of your fight. He's online right now. Oh, yeah, right next to me on my own couch. I know. And number 5, they're going to devalue you more and more, which is some of the things I mentioned in 3 in terms of like projection and blaming you and accusing you. But the devaluation more and more is going to come if you don't respond to those first 4 things. They are going to make you feel bad about yourself because now they're feeling bad and they have to feel better, so they're going to make you feel worse. So more devaluing will be in store for you for sure. Number 6, they'll cheat. Again, the devalue of number 5 is again. Everything that they're doing is again, but they're going to lay it all on thick, right? So they're going to cheat again, especially if they feel you're close to leaving. They can't be left alone for a second. They're like a baby. So if they feel you have one foot out the door, they need to now put their one foot into another door so they can walk right into it as soon as you leave. And that can be very hurtful. That's oftentimes when you hear somebody say the quote, well, how did they find somebody else so fast? How did they find somebody else so fast? I'm over here hurting for 6 months. They have to find somebody so fast. And that is a point, I think, where we can really pity them. They can't be alone for a second. Not 1 second. And if they are, it's extremely difficult. They're absolutely in a state of flux. They don't know what's going to happen next. They're panicked. And number 7, if none of those things work and you're still onto them and they know it and they feel they're going to leave you. That's the inevitable discard that everyone talks about. They'll leave. They can't have you leave them first. I did. Several times. Every single time it ended, it was me. So every single time, it shows you how many times it took me. But that causes an extreme narcissistic injury. And even if they don't have that verbiage to explain the injury, they know it's coming and they know what it's going to feel like. They've been left before. You don't think they've been left before? They're this dysfunctional. They've been left before. So they know it causes them to feel completely unglued. We know the word narcissistic injury and what that means, but they don't. So unless you discard them first, they will leave. That's where the inevitable discard will come. They cannot see themselves through the eyes of someone that now sees their faults. So when you're completely onto them, they will start to become very uncomfortable because your perfect image of them is now flawed, and they hate that. And then you say, well, why do they hoover me later then? Why do they hoover me later? If they left me or or they're mad because I left them because I saw their floor. Why are they hoover? Because they forget just like we do. They forget just like we do, and they still would rather have the supply than no supply. So when they've moved on to new supply, they're hoovering you, but they're with somebody else. I don't ever want anyone to think that the narcissist is home alone, sad, waiting for 9 months, like a Hollywood movie. The guy's pining away for the girl and keeps trying to get her back for a whole year. That's not what the narcissist is doing when they're hoovering you. Okay? They are with someone else and hoovering you. I'm digressing. But the question that I threw out there was, well, why would they bother hoovering me if they knew I was onto their flaws? Because they want you to be a bench warmer up for with their old supply, and all of you sit together so they can call on you when they need you, and they'll just ignore the fact that you saw them. They're not with you constantly now, so they can probably just pick up a little bit of your company here and there and just drop you right away when you start to get anywhere near the vocabulary they have to listen to when you start throwing words at them that indicate that you do see their flaws. You see what I'm saying? So they would pick you up maybe for a little while and try to work with you, and then the minute you get difficult, boom, you're back on the bench. So those are your items, and you can expect all of them and more. When they know you're onto them and you make it clear and you confront them and you want to discuss things, it just doesn't go in a healthy direction. I really had high hopes. I'm going to communicate this. He's going to understand. We're going to have a conversation. Yeah, I was real Pollyanna about it. I really thought I had high hopes to get through to somebody and fix them, which that's another video. That's a problem that I have, that I'm working on now. So anyway, chin up, but these are the things you can expect. So tread carefully and do your research and get your ducks in a row. If it's something that you're onto them and you want to leave now, probably not the time to confront them, because they'll do all these things and they may make it difficult for you to step out that door. Okay? That's all. Bye.